this causes a little bit of panic every year, it seems like. So hopefully I can help clarify it and make it a little bit easier for you. We have two resources we're using, page 126 from the appendix in your guide and the packet that I sent home. Unfortunately, this document is not super easy to edit, and I did make some changes to it. I went over these changes in class because I just walked them through their lab journal setup, hoping that that would simplify things and nobody would go home and panic over this section. But apparently I was not clear enough, and I should have had them make notes on it as we went along to make it more easily understood at home. So I apologize for that, but we're going to go through what we need to be doing. The lab journal does need to be labeled inside the front cover with their student's name, and you can also include mom's phone and email address, phone number and email address. So you can just put that information here, phone number and email address, and maybe next to school you can put the director name if you feel like that much information is needed. Make all entries in pen, not pencil. Erasable pens are not encouraged. Write neatly and clearly, but there are going to be mistakes. Perfectionists, it's going to be hard, and I know that, but this is just a growing season for kids who have a hard time with feeling like everything has to be perfect. We're lining through mistakes. These are brainstorming sessions that we are showing on these pages. The judges want to see that if you made a mistake, that you just did a line through them and continued on with your work. Okay. Don't obliterate them. Don't completely scribble them out. Just one line through your mistakes is fine. Number all pages front and back before use. Even numbers on the left side, odd numbers on the right side. That is going to start on the first page, table of contents. In the guide, it says to leave several pages in front for the table of contents. So it doesn't mean leave blank pages. It just means leave pages to use for the table of contents. I have found that they usually don't use more than just this front page. So if they have to, they can go to the back of the page, page 2. You can use colored tabs to designate your sections, and you can draw an X through unwanted pages. Don't remove them. Date every entry. This is very important. Include any and all observations made during the experiment. Any loose papers, photocopies that are made, receipts, pictures, or any other important items can be attached, including the project overview schedule that we will be adding to the book this week. And then we will do that. That's actually number 8. We're doing that this week. Okay, so in class we set up the lab journal, but just to clarify, I actually had the edits written in my copy, and we went over this together in class. Inside cover is name and contact information. Page 1 will be your first lined page. Okay, so you have your inside cover, your first line page is page 1, and you will continue to number from there. On the left side of the book are your even pages, on the right side of the book are your odd pages. So page 2, the back of page 1, where your table of contents are, or is, your table of contents is on page 1. Page 2 you'll leave blank. Then on page 3 we'll add the science fair project schedule. So I sent those out, the corrected ones. They can cut these down to size and then paste or staple or tape, probably taping or stapling would be the best, into this page on page 3. Just make sure that you can see your page number at the top. Then page 4, the back of that is going to be left blank. And then on page 5, they will write research problem, and they will write the date, and then they will write their paragraph for their research problem. The research problem is basically a paragraph explaining the problem that you're going to investigate, or giving the information of how they came to their research question. Okay? Once you have done that, then you're going to come back to your table of contents and you're going to write research problem and the page number. Next week, when they do their research question, they'll leave page 6 blank. On page 7, they'll write research question and the date, and then they'll write out their research question. They'll brainstorm how they're going to word their research question. When they've done that, then they'll come back to their table of contents, which Cora hasn't done this part yet, but they'll write research question, and they'll write the page number 7. Again, it's showing you the lining through, and then they'll be able to continue writing. Try to encourage them not to do any rough drafts on separate sheets of paper before copying it into their book. This is their rough draft. Once they have come up with their research problem, they've written their paragraph into their composition book, then they will start their research plan, which is the typed outline, and they will add to this weekly. So they're going to type this on the computer and save it so they can find it each week to add to it. They'll type the title of their research on the top line and center it, type their name on the second line and center it, and then start their first Roman numeral for their outline. Type up what they came up with for their research problem in their lab journal, and then they're going to print it and bring it to class so I can look over it and help give them guidance or feedback. Throughout the process, they are going to be working in 2 areas. This is going to be where they brainstorm, write their rough drafts, finalize it, make the necessary edits and proofreading that need to be done, and then they will type their final version in their research plan on the computer each week. So if you have any questions, please let me know. You should have the updated schedules, the project overviews, in your inboxes that you can print and they can staple into their lab journals.